guys, what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. We're here in Las Vegas with Honda, and of course, walking around, everybody wants to stop at the Honda booth at the SEMA show, and it's for this car right here. This is it. This is the 11th generation 2022 Honda Civic Si. But before we get into this Japanese icon, let's talk about what's going on here. Honda, so many great decades of so many great vehicles. Now, of course, they built a name for themselves when it comes to reliability, when it comes to durability, but one thing that Mr. Honda was very, very true about was obviously performance and racing. Now, it all goes back to the 1960s when they got into Formula One, into Grand Prix racing. Of course, so many sports car endurance race wins, championships, and everything in between. But when it comes to a compact sport sedan, the Si has always been that go-to for many enthusiasts. Now, over the years, it's changed from power plants to style, but for the 11th generation, there's a lot of that real good driver connection and enjoyment that's been brought into the platform. Now, there's been some discussion. People have been saying that the 11th generation has had some blandness brought to the style, but Honda says their direction is all about performance. So what I want to do is I want to show you this 11th generation Civic Si, and I want to find out, is it the best compact performance sports sedan you should be spending your money on for the 2022 model year? Let's go ahead, let's dive into our blazing orange Civic Si. Right off the bat, the color. This is going to be an Si specific color combination with this setup. That is going to make it unique. When we say Si, we're talking about sports injected, and they definitely brought that extra style to you. Now, coming down at the front of the business, you're going to notice headlight design. We're going to have, of course, that new standard headlight LED, everything blacked out on the interior. You got LED daytime running lamps. Working your way down, you'll notice that we have this flat black area looking good. Now, this particular one has some HPD performance parts added. Definitely on this front sill extension with the gloss black, gives it that little something extra. And then coming around towards the front, I like the way it's got the blacked out Honda badge. You'll notice the unique grille specific to the Si. And just like every generation before it, there is that badge, that sports injection into this compact sedan. Working your way down from that flat black grille, which I think they styled so nicely. You have a large open mouth area, and what you're going to notice behind there is that enlarged cooler for our turbocharged engine. Now, when we get up onto the hood, same thing. I love the clean styling, the way they took the color match, wrap it around the front nose, and then everything coasts right towards the windshield. And then as we kind of coast around the bend, what are we working with wheel and tire setup? Now, this one, like I said, has some special additions to it, and this is going to be one of those. Really loving these nice metallic gray wheels, the way that they're styled with those Goodyear Eagle performance tires. Front wheel drive still, but you are going to have that helical limited slip differential to get the power to the ground. And I'm really digging what they've done with the color. Machined aluminum finish, looking really clean. And that's really going to help separate it from the rest of the pack. You're going to have a little bit larger brake rotor, ventilated, and they did do suspension work all four corners. Now, one thing that is different compared to last year's model year is the adjustable suspension. So that's one thing to think about, how this is going to handle with this new setup. But I really love what they've done with these custom wheels with our color on our particular one. Now, coming down the side, you do have that gloss black on the mirror caps. You'll notice the Honda genuine accessories, and that's something that they're really focusing on, is bringing accessories, especially being here at SEMA. It's all about modification. It's all about customization. A lot of people want to have that go-to with the Honda brand and name and have that for their specific Honda product. But working our way down, just like SIs before it, last generation, you do have your standard size sunroof. That's another thing that I've always liked about the Si, is that there's not a bunch of options that you need to check off. It's going to come how you see it. Love that side sill extension, gloss black, just like up front. And you'll notice this being an HPD part. What does HPD stand for? Honda Performance Development. Nice little graphic there. Nothing too gaudy, but just to let people know that you went the extra mile with the style. Coming around towards the rear, one of my favorite pieces is going to be this trunk lid spoiler. Just enough kick up. It's got a nice divot in the center, nothing too over the top. We have our Si badge, that sports injection with our LED taillights. Blacked out on the Honda badge, blacked out on the Civic badge. This one having the HPD goodies. that extra badge there, very, very tasteful. And then look what we have for our 11th generation Si, one exhaust on each side to balance it out. Doesn't have that HDMI style plug in the center, but you'll notice that HPD accessories all the way around with the exhaust. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this 2022 Civic Si. All right guys, we got the hood pop. Now what I love about the Civic hood especially is that we have it actually open larger for the maintenance opening. There's actually two ways to open it. This is the larger setting so we could get a bird's eye view of what's going on underneath the hood. Underneath the hood, what are we looking at? We're looking at that 1.5 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine. It does have VTEC with this engine. You're looking at 200 horsepower, 192 pound-feet of torque. 6-speed manual is the transmission choice only. So if you don't know how to dance on your twinkle toes, please learn how to drive a manual. Not difficult on this car. Now the big news is how they retuned it. So where you're gonna see that torque delivery start to come into play is around 1,800 RPM all the way up to 5,000 RPM with a 6,500 RPM redline. New for 2022, taken from the Civic Type R, will be that automatic rev match downshift feature, which will help smooth out the downshifts, especially if you're doing a track day or an autocross event. Now MPGs, you're looking around 27 in the city, 37 on the highway, so this is still gonna be easy on the wallet at the pump. And like I mentioned earlier, you do have that helical limited slip differential, and they did do some retuning to that 6-speed manual transmission. But why don't we go ahead, speaking of the interior, speaking of some of the changes, let's get into the interior of this new Si and see what's different. All right guys, here we are inside the 2022 Honda Civic Si. Really one of those cars, like I said, for people that want that value, but still want that performance and great driving engagement. This really has been that go-to. Now, I know a lot of you are hoping for pricing. Pricing is not available yet, but Honda says that they are gonna keep this spot on the money when it comes to that value, especially when looking at the competition. But let's see what you're gonna be getting if you go this 11th generation route to the door panels. What I love is you're gonna get unique Si style. So I really like the smooth, soft touch up top. A little bit of gloss black, but the great news is you're not going to be touching it at all. You got some nice aluminum finish on the door handle, and I'm really digging the back side of the door panel. That has that Si unique style to it with the red stitching. And then of course around the switchgear where the door locks and the windows are, you don't have to worry about those pesky fingerprints. And I like the way they carried the red trim all the way towards the front of where that switchgear is. Now you do have a door pocket, it is on the tight side, so maybe 4 Pop-Tarts and a bottle of Mountain Dew to wash it down, and that's about it. But the great news is, as you go from the door panel to the dash, I love the style of the dash. Soft touch, and just like the sedan that we already brought to you, you're gonna get that nice wire mesh finish with the addition of the red around that all the way towards the center. For the first time on a Civic Si, you have a 9-inch infotainment system, wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. Very easy to set up all the icons and the functions, and that really makes it very enjoyable to drive. Dropping your way down, you're gonna have dual climate controls. Love the switchgear. Everything has such a nice upscale feel, fit, and finish. 2 USBs and a 12-volt. Of course, we got a place for some track day autocross Twinkies, 4 of them you could put in there. And then guess what? Time for where the magic happens. And that's right there. Just like your parents told you to knock before you came into the room because that's where the magic happened. This is where the magic happens. This 6-speed manual transmission only. Hashtag save the manuals. Nice, smooth, short throws. They reworked the system. I love the shift knob, especially with the aluminum and everything in red with the gear pattern and the stitch work. But you could see nice crisp engagement with the automatic rev match downshift feature, new for 2022. That material where you don't have to worry about fingerprints, red stitching on the shift boot. We do have a drive mode selector switch, easy to get to go into the different modes. And then you're gonna get 2 cup holders, nice on the armrest, lift it up. You got plenty of room in there. You could put that autocross trophy. You come in first with your Si, that's where you put it, and these seats. Love the red with the black, makes it pop. Si embroidery looking good. Now you do have manual adjustment for the passenger and the driver, but they give you great bolstering that's not gonna squeeze you like a vice grip. And you have your sunroof that's included But why don't you come over to the business end? I want to show you behind this SI steering wheel in this 2022 Civic Si. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel of the 2022 Si. Now remember, in just a couple short weeks, we're going to be in Los Angeles for the official media drive event, but I knew that you were chomping at the bit to see more of this 11th generation of the Si. Let's talk about footbox. Honda does a great footbox with the pedal placement, and what you have are those triple pedals. Nice aluminum clutch, brake pedal, and throttle. Perfect for heel toe downshifting, or like I said, you could turn on the automatic rev match feature. You do have a good sized dead pedal. Would like to see that in aluminum though, just to kind of tie it all in. But there's your seat controls, easy to get to. They are manual, but guess what? It's all about keeping it at a certain price point, and that's been the heritage of the Si, besides the performance that it brings. I'm 6 feet tall, plenty of room in here, even with the sunroof and then the steering wheel. Absolutely love the leather. Honda does a great wheel where it's the perfect thickness, nice 10 and 2 notches, some brushed aluminum, just a little bit of gloss black. Of course, it's a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel. You just make your adjustments right there. And then the dash is a combo deal. You have your digital display on the side for your tachometer, and you can obviously scroll through different information on that left side, and then you have an analog speedometer on the right side. Nice combination of the two, and you could go into your different modes: sport mode, normal, and individual. And Lori's gonna show you on the infotainment side of things. Look at how they show that Gran Turismo style with the graphics. Really, really cool to be able to individually set everything up perfect. And like I was saying, when it comes to clutch, they reworked the clutch. And if you're new to driving a manual transmission, this clutch is so easy to learn on. Nice, crisp engagement. But you know what? I know you're ready for that media drive, so am I, but we're here at SEMA and we're gonna wrap it up. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, it's been an amazing time here at SEMA. I definitely want to thank Natalie, Lynn, the whole Honda team for getting us access to this 2022 Honda Civic Si. Like I said, stay tuned. A couple weeks, we're gonna be in LA for the official media event. Really glad to be able to show this vehicle with the HPD performance parts, especially those 18-inch wheels, looking so good with the extra aero. But what I want to do is, before we just wrap it up, I want to kind of take you around and give you the SEMA experience at the Honda booth. They have a great display, and of course the Si is at the heart of it, but let's see some of the other things that they got going on when it comes to the Si. Of course, racing has always been important to Honda, especially at the grassroots level, and what they want to do is they not only want to bring performance at a great value on the street, but they also want to bring performance at a great value on the racetrack as well. So they have these two amazing Civic Si 11th generation race cars to showcase that grassroots way of getting into road racing. And there's so much that comes from the standard setup that it keeps it very, very affordable. But going back to the original question of the video, does the Civic Si, is it the best compact performance sedan to buy? Let me know what you think, especially after we kind of look at the race car. But you could see the actual Honda Racing Civic Si here with the extra aero, obviously been increased for that track duty performance. Love the way everything is carbon fiber, but you could see how the lines of the Civic Si for the street are here on this race car. Love the wheels, and this comes as a package. Like, you don't have to go and do all of this yourself. This comes from Honda, and it's about getting out there and being able to turn those laps, those fast laps at the racetracks. But love the graphics, and Lori's gonna just take a peek inside and show you how the whole interior is gutted. You could still see that 6-speed manual transmission with the stock shift knob there. You have your stock infotainment system in there. Those are part of the rules for this class, but really great that they brought this out. The fuel cell, fuel obviously not in a tank, not very safe. The fuel cell has actual foam sponge material in it to stop the fuel from sloshing around, and also if you're in an accident, it's there to be protected so it doesn't split open and cause a chance of a major fire. But just wanted to give you the overall experience. That's always been our goal here on Raiti's Rides, not only to showcase the vehicles, but also make you feel like you're here with us. So let me know in the comment section, do you feel like you're here with us at SEMA? Do you like what Honda's doing with the 11th generation Civic Si? Can't wait to drive it. But if you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rise family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you in the channel, click that link in the description. Get yourself some Raised Rise merch. Got to give it to the badass camera woman of the generation here at SEMA. That's going to be Lori, the best in the biz. Show her some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. Just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.